Hello. Today we're going to talk about fusion hair extensions. We're going to talk about the hot tool method. My name is JohnIra Johnson, and this is Ariella. She's a beautiful model for today. Ariella does have curly hair. Her hair has been straightened prior to this with a ceramic flat iron. We're just going to touch up some areas of her hair before we start the extension process. And mainly that's going to be the areas up underneath that have the curl has tried to revert back. So we're going to touch those up before we go with the fusion extensions. Also, before we do that, I'd like you to get a look over here of our setup. We have our hot tool for melting the bonds. We have 2 rat tail combs. We have about 5 to 6 duckbill clips. And these are our fusion extensions right here. We have about 200 strands. However, for an average head, it takes about 150 strands. And we're going to continue this process all the way up, making sure that all of her hair is straightened out nicely and smooth, so we won't have any issues when we're doing the extension application. Now we're going to start the extension application process. The extensions are going to be applied from the nape area, about an inch above the nape area, to the temporal area, okay? It's going to be about 2 inches above the ear in the temporal area. You never really want to go above the parietal edge with the extensions, because then it gets in an area where people can see them and they can see the bonds. So you want to stay below the parietal edge, which is right here along this area of the head. And then the extensions can be camouflaged up here where we have the movement in the hair. So the extensions are camouflaged there. So what we're going to do first, we're going to go ahead and we're going to, although we start out with the duckbill clips, we're going to use some bigger clips now to clip some areas out of the way. Main thing here is taking the horseshoe parting up here where we're not going to have any extensions at all. Okay, take that horseshoe parting. And the thing about this here is the horseshoe parting doesn't need to be perfect, but we do need to make sure that the extensions are going to be applied in the same area and up to the same height on both sides of the head. Okay, so we're also going to take this section here and section this off, because this will be a section that we're going to do separately in the temporal area. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side of her head. We're going to section it right here, like almost right behind the ear, but kind of on top of the ear. And we're just going to section that right out of the way there. Okay, then our next section is going to come right here. We're going to go right here from about the top of the ear around to the next, around to the other side of the head. So we're going to take this section like so, and we're going to put this section up as well. Okay. Now remember, we said we're going to start the extensions about an inch above the nape area. Okay, so we're going to find that nape area, and we're going to find that inch. Okay, if you don't have a comb with measurements on it, the inch is going to be the top part of your pinky area. Okay, that's going to be an inch. So I'm going to go in here Okay, we have this. Okay, we clip that out of the way. Now we're going to have to prepare our extension. Okay? Now our extensions look like this. There's about 10 to 15 in each bundle. What we're going to do, we're going to take the bundle in our hand like this, grab this part with our two fingers, our thumb and our pointer finger, and we're just going to pull it down and pull the extensions up to get rid of that. You don't want to try to cut this part off, because what you could end up doing is cutting your extensions, and that wouldn't be a good thing. Okay. Now, when we look at the extensions here, we see that we have a long area where we have the bonds. Now, you can use this just how it comes, or so you won't have a lot of glue build up on the hair strand when you're applying the extensions. You can cut this in half. So we're going to take the shears like so, and we're going to cut it in half. So we're going to take a little section of her hair about here. Okay, so it's a little bundle. Your bundle needs to be about half a centimeter wide and half a centimeter tall. Okay, what ends up happening essentially is for every inch we put 2 to 3 extensions. Okay, so as you can see here, we have taken the bundle of hair that's half a centimeter wide and half a centimeter tall, and we have applied our separation tool here, and we're going to take a clip to secure our separation tool. Now, things we need to make sure we're not doing here: you don't want our separation tool to be too high where we're going to make a waterfall or some sort with when we apply the extension, and we don't want it to be too low. We want it to be just right. We don't want the hair to be over directed up or over directed down. Okay, so now we're going to go back and we're going to take our extensions. Mind you, we have cut the bonds, and we're going to take our heat tool as well. Now, your heat tool does not need to be too hot. It needs to be like on a medium temperature, because we do want to melt the bonds, but we don't want to melt them so much that they get sticky and stick to the heat tool. So what we're going to do now, we're going to place the bond on top. Now, placing the bond on top is going to create a veil over her natural hair. Meaning, since her natural hair is shorter than the extension hair, it's going to blend very well because we have put this on top. So the color is going to blend very well. The length is going to blend very well. If you place this on the bottom, her natural hair would show more, and we would be able to see the line of demarcation of where her natural hair starts and where it ends. And we don't want to have that. So as we place this here, we're using I-tip extensions as well. So we're going to press down and we're going to count to about 2 to 3 seconds. We're going to release. We're going to do it one more time till we get a good consistency. And we're going to fold it on both sides, and we're going to squeeze, and we're going to rub until we see it shine a little bit. Because you want to make sure the extension is sealed in real good. We don't want to have any rough corners or anything. Now, reason why I folded on both sides and then we pressed it down and rubbed it is because we want these extensions to be as flat as possible. When they're flat as possible, they're going to lay flat to the head. If we were doing these for volume, we would roll them. These are two extensions applied right here. I'm going to show you the rolling method really quickly.